everybody, Scojo in 360 here. Now, I have been out in the snow with my action camera, which is the Insta360 1X recently. Horrible in the cold weather, by the way. But most batteries are pretty bad in the cold weather. And it made me kind of think about the fact that I'm kind of an expert on how to extend battery life when it comes to cold weather. You see, back in 2009, I went across the state of Alaska, remote Alaska near Denali, with one of these, and it was 45 below at times. Now, this thing did actually crap out at about 30 below. Thankfully, once things warmed up, all the data was restored, the footage was not lost. But made me think, maybe I should get some tips to you on how to extend camera life when it's in the cold. Now, if this is not a topic that interests you, you better stay tuned, because just to up the entertainment factor a little bit, I'm going to insert random fart noises. Sorry. First of all, we need to make one thing very clear that most people don't understand, and that is that the battery, when it gets cold, doesn't actually run out of juice. What it does is it essentially sends a confusing signal to the camera. Now, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is that it's so confusing it can actually shut down your camera. The good news is if you can warm up the battery, then you'll get your charge back. So, how do we do this? Well, let's break it down. Now, in a perfect world, all the action cameras should work in the cold. I mean, you'd think that's what you have a lot of action going on in the cold, but many of them don't. So you're gonna wanna keep the thing warm. Now, if you have a detachable battery like the Insta360 1X, the good news is that there are some steps you can take, and God bless everybody who puts a detachable battery on an action camera. So you take the battery out, you give it a good slap to kind of get some of the battery acids moving, and then you just keep it in the palm of your hand. Now, for this battery, it only took about 30 seconds to a minute to warm it up enough that I got some good function. May take a little bit longer for you, but everyone's gonna be different, but give it a shot. That will help bring it back to life. Now, obviously, no matter what camera you have, whether this is a battery that you can't take out, this one is, you're gonna wanna keep the camera close to your body, inside your jacket. Some of the jackets, like this one that I take out into the cold weather, it has the little breast pocket on the outside. Now, that's fine, but you're still getting a lot of the cold temperatures that are going in there. You want to get it close to your chest. So, if you have some kind of a pocket that's on the inside of your jacket, stick it closer to your heart if you can. Anything that's inside the core of your body will help keep it warm. Now, one of the things that I will rave about with the Insta360 1X is that it comes with a little thing you can put around your neck. And so then I just put this sucker inside this thing, and then it goes around my neck. I can stick it in my jacket, and I can keep it warm. Kudos to Insta360 1X for that little knack. Now, with a 360 camera, you're generally going to want it on a selfie stick. So what I've ended up doing is actually screwing on the selfie stick onto my Insta360 One, putting it inside my jacket, and then the selfie stick just kind of sticks out a little bit out of my jacket, but man, it keeps the camera warm, and I've extended my battery life by about 500% this way. And finally, one of the last options you have is to get some hand warmers. Now, these little suckers, gel activated, you get them nice and warm, and then you actually stick it onto the camera and then rubber band it onto the camera. I've had to do this before, and it does work okay. I would not say this is the number one option. The number one option is keeping it close to your body. So let's break it down into priorities. If you have a detachable battery, that's the best. Take it out, slap it into the palm of your hand to help activate it, hold it in the palm of your hand for a good 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and that will warm it up. Either way, no matter what kind of camera you have, you're going to want to keep the camera tucked inside your jacket to keep it warm. The inner part of your body core is so warm, it will keep that camera nice and toasty, so you'll extend your battery life by anywhere from 300 to 500%. And finally, the hand warmer method. Again, this is not one that I would totally recommend, but if you've got 3 things in your arsenal that extend your battery life when you're out in the cold, that will save your... sorry, man. Speaking of... All right, well, you gotta admit that's at least one of the most unique tutorials you've ever seen. If you hated the idea, leave me a comment. If you love the idea, leave me a comment. But hey, don't forget, subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell on the side, and you will get content alerts every time I release something new, which these days is about every other day. I promise I won't fart all the time. Just subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. I'm SkojoIn360.